It was just another boring Tuesday night at the research station in New Mexico. Dr. Maya Rodriguez had been working alone for 3 hours, checking readings on computers that hummed quietly in the desert silence. She was tired, drinking her 4th cup of coffee, and thinking about going home when everything changed forever. The research station was supposed to be studying radio signals from space. Nothing exciting ever happened there. Maya had been working there for 2 years, and the most interesting thing she had seen was a family of rabbits living near the parking lot. But that night was different. At exactly 11:47 p.m., every computer in the building started beeping at once. Maya jumped up from her chair, spilling coffee on her white lab coat. The screens were showing something she had never seen before. Strange patterns were dancing across the monitors, like music made of light. "What in the world?" she whispered to herself, running from computer to computer. Her hands were shaking as she tried to understand what was happening. The signals were coming from directly above the building, getting stronger every second. Then, the lights went out. Maya stood in complete darkness, her heart beating so fast she could hear it in her ears. The only light came from the glowing computer screens, casting weird shadows on the walls. She reached for her phone to call her supervisor, but before she could dial, a soft blue light began filling the room. The light wasn't coming from inside the building. It was coming from outside, through the windows. Maya walked slowly toward the main window, her legs feeling like rubber. When she looked up at the sky, her mouth fell open. A huge ship was floating silently above the research station. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The ship looked like it was made of liquid metal that moved and flowed like water. Blue and silver lights pulsed along its surface in patterns that almost looked like breathing. Maya rubbed her eyes, thinking she must be dreaming. But when she looked again, the ship was still there, and it was getting lower. The ship landed without making any sound at all. It touched down on a flat area behind the building that Maya had always thought was just empty desert. But now she could see that it wasn't empty at all. There were strange markings on the ground, like a landing pad that had been hidden somehow. "This can't be real," Maya said out loud, but her voice sounded tiny in the big room. A door opened in the side of the ship. Light spilled out, but it wasn't harsh like electric light. It was warm and golden like sunlight through honey. Maya knew she should run. She knew she should call the police or the military or somebody. But she couldn't move. She was too amazed and too scared at the same time. A figure appeared in the doorway of the ship. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The being walking toward her building was like nothing she had ever imagined. She was tall, much taller than any human, with long arms and legs that moved with perfect grace. Her skin seemed to glow with its own light, changing colors from silver to deep blue like the ocean at night. But it was her face that made Maya forget to breathe. The being had large eyes that seemed to hold the light of stars. Her features were beautiful but completely alien, with high cheekbones and a mouth that curved in an almost human smile. She wore what looked like armor, but it moved like fabric, covered in patterns that glowed and shifted like living artwork. The alien being walked right up to the building's main door and stood there, as if she was waiting for an invitation. Maya's scientific training kicked in. She grabbed a small recording device from her desk and pressed record with trembling fingers. Whatever was happening, she needed to document it. She walked slowly toward the door, her heart hammering against her ribs. When she reached the door, Maya paused with her hand on the handle. This was the moment that would change everything. She could stay inside and pretend this wasn't happening, or she could open the door and face the impossible. She opened the door. The alien being looked down at her with those incredible star-filled eyes. When she spoke, her voice didn't come through the air. It came directly into Maya's mind, clear and musical and somehow familiar. "Greetings, Earth human. I am Queen Zara of the Luminary people. You are the one who studies the signals from the stars, yes?" Maya tried to speak, but only managed to nod. Her whole body was shaking now, but not from fear. It was from excitement. and wonder, and the overwhelming realization that she was the first human being to meet someone from another world. Queen Zara's alien features seemed to soften into something that looked almost like kindness. "Please do not fear me. I have traveled very far to speak with you. My people have been watching your world for many years, and we have learned much about humans. But there are things we do not understand." What things?" Maya finally managed to whisper. The alien queen tilted her head in a gesture that was surprisingly human-like. "We have observed your art, your music, your stories. We have seen how humans connect with each other in ways my people have forgotten. There is something about your species that we need to understand if my own people are to survive." Maya felt like she was in a dream. Here she was, a small-town scientist from New Mexico, having a conversation with royalty from another planet. It was impossible, but it was happening. Queen Zara stepped closer, and Maya could see that her skin really did glow with its own soft light. The patterns on her armor pulsed gently, like a heartbeat made of light. "I have chosen you, Maya Rodriguez, because you are alone tonight, and because your mind is open to possibilities. What I am about to ask you may seem strange, but it is of great importance to both our peoples." Maya's eyes widened. The alien queen knew her name. How was that possible? Queen Zara seemed to read her thoughts. "We have been monitoring your communications for some time. We know much about Earth, but we do not understand the thing you call love. This concept is crucial to our survival, and we believe humans hold the key to understanding it." The alien queen paused, and for a moment, she looked almost nervous. Maya couldn't believe that a being so advanced and powerful could seem uncertain about anything. Then Queen Zara asked the question that would change Maya's life forever. "Tell me, human Maya, are you single?" Maya stood there in the doorway, staring up at this beautiful, impossible being from another world, trying to process what she had just heard. Of all the questions she might have expected from an alien queen, this was definitely not one of them. The night air was cool against her skin, and somewhere in the distance, a coyote howled. The sound seemed to break the spell that had fallen over them both. What?" Maya stammered. Queen Zara's glowing eyes seemed to grow brighter. "Are you romantically involved with another human? Do you have what your people call a boyfriend, or girlfriend or spouse?" Maya felt her cheeks getting hot. This conversation had taken a turn she never could have imagined. No, I'm not seeing anyone right now, but why would you ask me that?" The alien queen's mouth curved into something that might have been a smile. "Because Maya Rodriguez of Earth, I believe you may be the key to saving my entire civilization. And the answer to that question may determine the fate of two worlds." Maya looked up at the stars twinkling above Queen Zara's glowing form and realized that her quiet life as a research scientist had just become the most important story in the universe. The night was just beginning. Maya stared at Queen Zara, her mind spinning like a washing machine. The alien queen's question hung in the air between them like a soap bubble that might pop at any moment. "Are you single?" What kind of alien invasion started with dating questions? "Why does that matter?" Maya asked, gripping the doorframe so tight her knuckles turned white. "I mean, you're from outer space. You have a spaceship, and you're asking about my love life?" Queen Zara's glowing eyes seemed to twinkle with something that looked almost like amusement. "Perhaps it would be easier to show you rather than explain. Would you be willing to come aboard my vessel? I promise you will not be harmed." Every reasonable part of Maya's brain screamed, "No!" But the scientist in her was burning with curiosity. This was the discovery of a lifetime. Maybe the discovery of all lifetimes. How could she say no? "Okay," she heard herself saying, "but I'm keeping this recording device with me." Queen Zara nodded gracefully. "Of course. Document everything. Your people will need to know about this eventually. Maya grabbed her jacket and followed the alien queen toward the glowing ship. As they got closer, she could see that it wasn't made of any metal she recognized. The surface looked like liquid mercury that had been frozen in the shape of a ship, but it was warm to the touch when she reached out to feel it. The door to the ship opened without any sound. It didn't slide or swing open like human doors. It just melted away like ice in hot water, then reformed behind them once they were inside. Maya's jaw dropped. The inside of the ship was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. The walls weren't really walls at all. They were like windows showing moving pictures of stars and planets and galaxies spinning slowly through space. The floor felt soft under her feet, like walking on clouds, but it was completely solid. "This is incredible," Maya whispered, turning in slow circles to take it all in. "How is any of this possible?" "We have had many thousands of years to develop our technology," Queen Zara explained, walking deeper into the ship. "But all our advancement means nothing if our people cannot continue to exist." They entered a large room that seemed to be the center of the ship. Comfortable-looking chairs grew out of the floor like mushrooms, and soft music played from somewhere Maya couldn't identify. The alien queen gestured for her to sit down. "Maya Rodriguez," Queen Zara began, settling into a chair that molded itself perfectly to her tall frame. "What I am about to tell you has never been shared with any being outside my people, but desperate times require desperate measures." Maya leaned forward, her recording device clutched in her hands. "I'm listening." Queen Zara's skin began to glow brighter, and the patterns on her armor pulsed faster. Maya realized this meant the alien queen was nervous or excited about something. "My people, the Luminari, are dying," Queen Zara said simply. "Not from war or disease or old age. We are dying because we have forgotten how to love." "I don't understand," Maya said. "How can someone forget how to love?" The alien queen stood up and walked to one of the moving star windows. "Long ago, my people were very much like yours. We felt deep emotions. We formed strong bonds with each other. We created families and raised children with joy and passion." Maya watched as scenes began playing on the walls around them. She saw beautiful alien cities with towers that reached toward the sky like crystal trees. She saw Luminari people laughing and dancing and holding each other close. It looked like paradise. "But as we became more advanced," Queen Zara continued, "we began to think that emotions were inefficient. We developed technology that could make us think more clearly by reducing our feelings. We thought we were improving ourselves." The scenes on the walls changed. Now Maya saw the same beautiful cities, but they looked cold and empty. The luminary people moved through them like ghosts, barely acknowledging each other's existence. "It worked too well," Queen Zara said sadly. "Within a few generations, we could barely feel anything at all. We stopped forming relationships. We stopped having children. Our population began to shrink rapidly." Maya felt her heart breaking for these beautiful alien people. "That's terrible, but surely some of you still remember how to feel." Queen Zara turned back to her, and Maya could see something that looked like tears glittering in those star-filled eyes. "Very few. I am one of the last of the royal bloodline, and one of the only Luminari who still experiences what you would call emotions. But even for me it is difficult. I know the words for love, but I do not truly understand what it means." "So you came to Earth because your people fascinate us," Queen Zara said, moving closer to Maya's chair. "We have been studying your planet for decades. We have watched your movies, listened to your music, read your books. Humans seem to experience emotions more powerfully than any species we have ever encountered." Maya thought about all the songs on the radio about heartbreak, all the movies about finding true love, all the poems written about missing someone special. Humans really were obsessed with love. "We have learned your languages and your customs," Queen Zara continued. "But we cannot understand the actual experience of love just by observing. We need someone to teach us. We need someone who understands human emotions to help us remember what we have lost." The pieces of the puzzle were starting to come together in Maya's mind. "And you asked if I was single because—" Queen Zara's cheeks actually seemed to darken with what might have been a blush. "Because our research suggests that the deepest form of human emotional connection is romantic love. If we are to learn how to feel again, we must understand this most powerful of human experiences." Maya stared at the alien queen. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" "I am asking you to be our teacher," Queen Zara said quietly. "I am asking you to help me learn what it means to love someone. And I am asking if you would be willing to explore the possibility of a connection between us." Maya's brain felt like it was short-circuiting. This gorgeous, powerful alien queen was basically asking her out on a date, the most important date in the history of two worlds. "But we're completely different species," Maya stammered. "I'm human, you're from another planet entirely. How could that even work?" Queen Zara smiled, and when she did, her whole face lit up like sunrise. "Our scientists have studied human biology extensively. While we look different on the outside, we are remarkably similar in many ways. We both have hearts that beat faster when we are excited. We both have minds that can form deep connections with others. We both dream when we sleep." She paused, looking directly into Maya's eyes. "And according to our research, we both have the capacity for what you call falling in love." Maya sat back in her chair, trying to process everything she had just heard. An alien civilization was dying because they had forgotten how to love. Their queen had chosen her, a small-town scientist, to help them remember, and she was suggesting that the best way to learn about love might be to experience it together. It was crazy. It was impossible. It was the most romantic thing anyone had ever said to her. "I need time to think about this," Maya said finally. Queen Zara nodded understandingly. "Of course. This is a great deal to consider. But Maya Rodriguez, I want you to know that from the moment I saw you tonight, I felt something I have never experienced before. Something warm and exciting and terrifying all at once." Maya's heart skipped a beat. "What was it?" Queen Zara's smile grew even brighter. "I believe you humans call it a crush." As impossible as it seemed, Maya felt herself smiling back. Maybe this crazy situation wasn't so impossible after all. Maya returned to her small apartment at 3 in the morning, carrying a small crystal device that Queen Zara had given her. It looked like a piece of starlight trapped in glass, and it hummed softly in her palm. The alien queen had called it a communication crystal, a way for them to talk across the vastness of space. "Just hold it and think of me," Queen Zara had said before Maya left the ship. "I will hear your thoughts, and you will hear mine." Now Maya sat on her old couch, staring at the impossible thing in her hands. Had that really happened? Had she really spent 2 hours talking to an alien queen who wanted to learn about love? She looked around her tiny apartment with its mismatched furniture and stacks of science magazines. Everything looked so ordinary, so earth-normal, that the whole experience felt like a dream. But the crystal was real, and when she held it closer to her heart, she could feel a gentle warmth that seemed to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. Maya tried to sleep, but every time she closed her eyes, she saw Queen Zara's glowing face and those incredible star-filled eyes. She remembered the way the alien queen had smiled when she said she had a crush. It had been sweet and nervous and completely adorable. At 7 in the morning, Maya gave up on sleep and made coffee with shaking hands. She had to go to work and pretend everything was normal, even though her entire world had been turned upside down. The research station looked exactly the same as always. Her co-workers, Dr. Kim and Professor Wilson, were already there, checking the same equipment, running the same tests. Maya sat at her desk and tried to focus on analyzing radio signals. But all she could think about was the most important signal she had ever received. "You look terrible," Dr. Kim said, looking up from his computer. "Did you get any sleep last night?" "Not much," Maya replied, which was certainly true. "Maybe you should take a sick day," Professor Wilson suggested. "You've been working too hard lately." Maya almost laughed. If only they knew what she had really been doing last night. But she couldn't tell them. Who would believe her? And Queen Zara had asked her to keep their meeting secret until they figured out what to do next. Around lunchtime, Maya couldn't resist any longer. She went to the bathroom, locked the door, and pulled out the crystal. Her heart was beating fast as she held it tight and thought Queen Zara's name. Almost immediately, the alien queen's voice filled her mind, warm and musical and somehow familiar already. "Maya, I have been hoping you would contact me. How are you feeling today?" Maya looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. She looked exhausted and confused and excited all at the same time. "I'm not sure," she thought back. "This is all so overwhelming. I keep wondering if I dreamed the whole thing." Queen Zara's laugh echoed in her thoughts, and it was the most beautiful sound Maya had ever heard. "I understand completely. I have been feeling the same way. I keep touching things on my ship to make sure they are real." They talked for 20 minutes, and Maya found herself smiling for the first time all day. Queen Zara told her about her home planet, about cities that grew like plants and rivers that flowed upward into the sky. Maya told her about Earth things like pizza and thunderstorms and the way flowers smelled after rain. "I wish I could experience these things with you," Queen Zara said softly. "Your world sounds so full of life and sensation." Maya felt her heart skip. The alien queen's words made her feel warm all over, like drinking hot chocolate on a cold day. Over the next few weeks, they talked every day, sometimes for just a few minutes, sometimes for hours. Maya would sneak away during lunch breaks or talk to Queen Zara after work while sitting in her car in the parking lot. She learned that the alien queen loved Earth music, especially the slow romantic songs. She learned that Queen Zara had never seen rain or snow or a sunset. "Your people write so many songs about love," Queen Zara said one evening. "But the more I listen to them, the more confused I become. Some songs say love is happiness, others say it is pain. Some say it makes you feel like flying, others say it makes you want to cry. How can one emotion contain so many contradictions?" Maya was lying on her bed, holding the crystal against her chest. "Because love isn't just one feeling," she explained. "It's like a symphony with lots of different instruments playing together. Sometimes it's beautiful and peaceful. Sometimes it's exciting and loud. Sometimes it's sad and soft. But it's all part of the same song." "I think I am beginning to understand," Queen Zara replied. "When I talk to you, I feel many different things at once. Joy and nervousness and curiosity and something else I cannot name." Maya's heart started beating faster. What does the something else feel like? There was a long pause before Queen Zara answered. "Like I want to be close to you. Like I want to know everything about you. Like I want to share all my thoughts and dreams with you. Is this what you humans call love?" Maya sat up on her bed, holding the crystal tight. "I think it might be." The conversations were getting deeper and more personal every day. Queen Zara shared memories through the crystal connection, showing Maya glimpses of her lonely life as the last emotional member of her species. Maya shared her own memories of growing up in a small town, of always feeling a little different, of dreaming about discovering something important. "You were right to dream," Queen Zara told her. You have discovered something very important indeed. You have discovered me. But with each passing day, Maya's normal life was getting more complicated. Her ex-boyfriend, Jake, had started calling, wanting to get back together. He was a nice guy, stable and predictable and completely human. 6 months ago, Maya would have been happy to give their relationship another try. Now, every time Jake called, all she could think about was glowing alien skin and star-filled eyes and a voice that spoke directly to her heart. "There's someone else, isn't there?" Jake asked one evening when he stopped by her apartment unexpectedly. "You seem different lately, distant." Maya looked at him standing in her doorway, with his familiar brown hair and his familiar smile. He represented everything normal and safe about her old life. "It's complicated," she said. "How complicated can it be?" Jake asked. "Either you want to be with me or you don't." If only he knew how complicated it really was. Maya was falling in love with someone from another planet, someone who lived among the stars, someone who might be the key to saving an entire alien civilization. Her co-workers had started asking questions, too. Dr. Kim noticed that she seemed distracted during meetings. Professor Wilson wondered why she kept disappearing during lunch breaks, and Maya was running out of excuses. "Are you feeling all right?" Dr. Kim asked one afternoon. "You've seemed really spaced out lately." Maya almost choked on her coffee. Spaced out was definitely one way to put it. That night, as she talked to Queen Zara through the crystal, Maya confessed her fears. "I don't know how much longer I can keep this secret. People are starting to notice that something is different about me." "Perhaps it is time to make a choice," Queen Zara said gently. "I do not wish to complicate your life, Maya. If you would be happier with your Jake person, I will understand." "No," Maya said quickly, surprising herself with how strong her voice sounded. "No, I don't want to be with Jake. I want—" She paused, hardly believing what she was about to say. "I want to be with you." Queen Zara's joy flooded through the crystal connection, warm and bright and overwhelming. "Truly? Even though I am not human? Even though it would mean leaving your world behind?" Maya closed her eyes and thought about everything she would be giving up. Her job, her apartment, her friends, her family, her entire planet. Then she thought about Queen Zara's smile and the way her voice made Maya feel like she could do anything. "Yes," she whispered. "I want to try." But even as she said the words, Maya wondered if she was making the biggest mistake of her life or the best decision she would ever make. Over the next 3 months, Maya's life became a beautiful secret that she carried everywhere. Every morning, she would wake up and reach for the crystal before she even opened her eyes. Queen Zara's voice had become as important to her as breathing. "Good morning, my dear Maya," the alien queen would whisper into her thoughts, and Maya's entire day would brighten like someone had turned on the sun. Their conversations had evolved far beyond simple cultural exchange. Now they talked about everything: their hopes, their fears, their dreams for the future. Queen Zara shared memories through the crystal that Maya could experience as if they were her own. She saw the luminary homeworld through Queen Zara's eyes, cities that looked like they were made of crystal and light, stretching up toward purple, skies, gardens filled with plants that sang in harmony when the wind touched them, oceans that glowed with silver fish swimming in patterns like living constellations. But she also saw the sadness: empty streets where people once gathered to celebrate, silent schools where children used to laugh and play. The Luminari moved through their beautiful world like ghosts, barely acknowledging each other's existence. "It breaks my heart," Queen Zara confessed one evening. "We created paradise, but we forgot how to enjoy it." Maya was sitting in her garden, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. "Show me what it used to be like," she said softly. The crystal grew warm in her hands, and suddenly Maya was experiencing a memory from Queen Zara's childhood. She saw the same crystal cities, but they were full of life and laughter. Luminari families walked together, their skin glowing brighter when they were happy. Children played games that involved creating light patterns in the air with their hands. Couples danced in the streets during festivals, their combined glow creating rainbow auroras in the sky. "It was beautiful," Maya whispered, tears running down her cheeks. "You understand now why I must save my people," Queen Zara replied. "And why I need you to help me remember what we have lost." But it wasn't just Queen Zara learning about human emotions. Maya was discovering feelings she never knew existed. When Queen Zara shared her memories, Maya felt a connection deeper than anything she had ever experienced with another person. It was like their souls were touching across the vastness of space. Sometimes, late at night, Maya would hold the crystal and dream. In her dreams, she was walking through those crystal cities with Queen Zara, hand in hand, their different kinds of beauty complementing each other perfectly. She would wake up with tears on her face, not from sadness, but from a longing so intense it took her breath away. "I dream about you too," Queen Zara told her one morning. "In my dreams, I am walking through your earth gardens, feeling sunlight on my skin for the first time. You are teaching me the names of flowers, and I am learning that beauty is even more wonderful when shared with someone you love." "Do you really love me?" Maya asked, her heart beating so fast she was sure Queen Zara could hear it through the crystal. There was a pause that felt like eternity. Then Queen Zara's voice came through, soft and sure and filled with wonder. "I believe I do. I did not understand what this feeling was at first. This warmth in my chest when I think of you. This way. You make me want to be better than I am. This need to know that you are safe and happy. But I have been studying your human literature, and I think this is what you call love." Maya pressed the crystal against her heart and whispered, "I love you too." The words felt like magic. Maya had said "I love you" to other people before, but never like this. Never with this certainty, this feeling of rightness, this sense that she had found the missing piece of herself in the most impossible place. Their relationship grew stronger every day, but so did the challenges they faced. Queen Zara told her that the Luminari High Council was growing impatient. They wanted results. They wanted to know when their queen would return with the secret to saving their species. "They do not understand that love cannot be rushed," Queen Zara explained. "They think it is like a mathematical formula that can be solved quickly. But you have taught me that love is more like a garden. It must be planted and watered and given time to grow." Meanwhile, Maya's life on Earth was becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Jake kept calling, becoming more persistent about getting back together. Her sister called every weekend, wondering why Maya sounded so dreamy and distracted all the time. Her co-workers were definitely suspicious about her frequent disappearances and her inability to concentrate on her work. Dr. Kim confronted her one Tuesday afternoon. "Maya, we need to talk. You've missed 3 department meetings this month. You're always on your phone during lunch breaks. And yesterday, I found you staring out the window for 20 minutes straight with the biggest smile on your face. What's going on?" Maya felt panic rise in her throat. "Nothing's going on. I've been tired lately." "This isn't tired," Dr. Kim said, studying her face carefully. "This is something else entirely. You look like someone who's fallen in love." Maya's cheeks turned bright red, which was basically the same as admitting everything. "I knew it!" Dr. Kim exclaimed. "Who is he? Do I know him? Is it someone from the university?" "It's complicated," Maya said, which had become her standard answer for everything lately. But the real complication came 2 weeks later, when government agents showed up at the research station. Maya was analyzing some routine data when Professor Wilson burst into the lab, his face pale with worry. "Maya, there are people here asking questions about unusual energy readings from last month. They're wearing suits and sunglasses, and they look very serious." Maya's blood turned to ice the night she met Queen Zara, the ship landing, the energy signatures it must have left behind. "What kind of questions?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "They want to know if anyone was here that night. They want to see all our security footage. They're talking about national security and classified information." Professor Wilson looked confused and frightened. "Maya, you were working that night. Did you see anything unusual?" Maya's mind raced. She could tell the truth and probably end up in some secret government facility for the rest of her life. Or she could lie and protect Queen Zara, but put herself in danger. Before she could answer, her phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "We know about the visitor. We need to talk. Come alone to the parking lot in 5 minutes." Maya's hands started shaking. Somehow, someone had discovered her secret. The most important relationship of her life was about to be exposed, and she had no idea what would happen next. She looked at Professor Wilson's worried face, then at the crystal hidden in her pocket. Queen Zara had warned her that this moment might come. Now she had to decide, run and hide, or face whatever consequences came from loving someone from the stars. "I need to make a phone call," Maya said, walking toward the door with her heart pounding like a drum. Everything was about to change, and she wasn't sure if she was ready. Maya walked to the parking lot on shaking legs, clutching the crystal in her pocket like a lifeline. A black car was waiting for her, and when she approached, a woman in a dark suit stepped out. She looked like she meant business. "Dr. Maya Rodriguez," the woman said. "I'm Agent Torres from a department you've never heard of. We need to talk about your alien friend." Maya's heart nearly stopped. "I don't know what you're talking about." Agent Torres smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. 3 months ago, our satellites detected an unidentified craft landing at this facility. The energy signature was unlike anything we've ever recorded. You were the only person here that night." Maya tried to look confused, but she was a terrible liar. "Maybe it was a meteor or something?" "Meteors don't send radio signals back to deep space," Agent Torres said. "Meteors don't leave behind traces of elements that don't exist on Earth. And meteors definitely don't cause someone to start carrying around alien communication devices." She pointed at Maya's pocket, where the crystal was glowing softly through the fabric. Maya's mind went blank with panic. She grabbed the crystal and held it tight, desperately thinking Queen Zara's name. "Maya, what is wrong? I sense your fear." "They know," Maya thought back. "The government knows about us. They're here." Queen Zara's response came immediately, filled with urgency. "Where are you?" "The parking lot at work. There's an agent. Here. I think they want to arrest me. Hold the crystal tight and do not let go, no matter what happens. I am coming for you." Agent Torres was talking, but Maya couldn't hear her over the sound of her own heartbeat. She was staring at the sky, hoping to see a familiar silver ship appear. "Are you even listening to me?" Agent Torres snapped. "I said we want to make a deal. We know you've been in contact with the alien. We want you to arrange a meeting." "Why?" Maya managed to ask. "Because first contact with an alien species is the most important event in human history, and it's going to happen under government supervision, not in some random parking lot in New Mexico." Maya looked at the agent's cold, calculating eyes, and knew that Queen Zara would never be safe if the government got involved. They would want to study her, experiment on her, use her technology for military purposes. They wouldn't care about love or saving the Luminari people or any of the things that actually mattered. "No," Maya said firmly. Agent Torres raised an eyebrow. "No? I won't help you capture her. She's not a threat. She's just trying to save her people." That's not your decision to make, Agent Torres said, reaching into her jacket. You're coming with us. But before she could pull out whatever she was reaching for, the sky above them began to glow. Queen Zara's ship descended, like a falling star, silent and beautiful and absolutely terrifying to anyone who wasn't expecting it. Agent Torres stumbled backward, speaking rapidly into a radio. The ship landed right in the middle of the parking lot, and Maya ran toward it without looking back. The door melted open just as she reached it, and Queen Zara was there, glowing, brighter than Maya had ever seen her. "Get in," Queen Zara said, grabbing Maya's hand. "We must leave immediately." Maya looked back once and saw Agent Torres talking urgently into her radio while pointing at the ship. In the distance, she could see more black cars racing toward the research station. "I can't leave," Maya said suddenly. "This is my home. My life is here." Queen Zara's star-filled eyes met hers. "Your life is wherever you choose to make it. But if you stay, they will never let you go. They will use you to find me, and they will use me to hurt my people." Maya thought about everything she would be leaving behind. Her job, her friends, her family, her entire world. Then she thought about the Luminari children who would never be born if Queen Zara couldn't save her people. She thought about a civilization dying because they had forgotten how to love. Most of all, she thought about Queen Zara's smile and the way her voice made Maya feel like she was home. "Okay," Maya said, stepping into the ship. "Let's go." The door sealed behind them just as the first government helicopters appeared on the horizon. Queen Zara's ship rose silently into the sky, leaving Earth behind like a blue marble falling into darkness. Maya pressed her face against the window, watching her home planet grow smaller and smaller. She was crying, but she wasn't sure if it was from sadness or excitement or fear or all three at once. Queen Zara sat beside her and took her hand. The alien queen's skin was warm and soft and somehow familiar, even though this was the first time they had actually touched. "Are you sad to leave?" Queen Zara asked gently. Maya thought about it carefully. "A little, but mostly I'm excited. I want to see your world. I want to meet your people. I want to help you save them. And I want to show you everything," Queen Zara said, her eyes glowing brighter. "I want to take you to the singing gardens and the crystal caves and the lakes that reflect different colors depending on your mood. I want you to meet the few Luminari who still remember how to smile." The journey to the Luminari homeworld took 3 days, and Maya spent every moment falling more in love with Queen Zara. They talked constantly, sharing stories and dreams and hopes for the future. Queen Zara taught Maya how to create light patterns with her hands, a skill that apparently came naturally to humans. Maya taught Queen Zara how to laugh, really laugh, the kind that makes your stomach hurt and tears stream down your face. When they finally arrived at the Luminari homeworld, Maya gasped. It was even more beautiful than Queen Zara's memories had shown her. The cities really did look like they were made of crystal and starlight, reaching up toward purple skies filled with 3 silver moons. But as Queen Zara had warned her, the cities were mostly empty. The few Luminari people they passed moved like sleepwalkers, barely glowing, barely alive. "It's heartbreaking," Maya whispered as they walked through the royal palace. "They're so beautiful, but they look so lost." "Not for much longer," Queen Zara said, squeezing Maya's hand. "You are going to help me change everything." And she was right. Maya's presence on the Luminari homeworld created a sensation. The few Luminari who still had emotions were fascinated by this human who glowed with happiness whenever she looked at their queen. They wanted to understand what made Maya laugh, what made her cry, what made her willing to leave her entire world behind for love. Maya became a teacher, but not in the way she had expected. She didn't give lectures about human emotions. Instead, she simply lived them. She and Queen Zara walked through the crystal cities hand in hand, and other Luminari began to remember what it felt like to want to be close to someone. Maya sang human songs in the empty squares, and Luminari people stopped to listen, their skin beginning to glow faintly with forgotten feelings. Most importantly, Maya and Queen Zara loved each other openly and joyfully, showing the Luminari people that it was possible to feel deeply without losing yourself. 6 months after Maya arrived, something miraculous happened. A young Luminari couple approached Queen Zara in the throne room, their skin glowing brighter than anyone had seen in decades. "Your Majesty," the female said, "we wanted to tell you that we are going to have a child." Queen Zara nearly fell off her throne. It was the first Luminari birth announced in over 20 years. Maya started crying happy tears, and Queen Zara hugged her so tightly that their combined glow lit up the entire room. "You did it," Queen Zara whispered. "You saved us." "We did it," Maya corrected. "Together." Over the next year, more Luminari couples began forming relationships. The birth rate slowly started to increase. The cities began to fill with light and laughter again. Maya established a school where Luminari people could learn about emotions, but more importantly, where they could practice feeling them in a safe environment. And through it all, Maya and Queen Zara's love continued to grow stronger. They had their first fight 6 months after Maya arrived about whether earth music or luminary crystal singing was more beautiful, and Maya was amazed to discover that even arguing with Queen Zara felt like a privilege. 2 years after leaving Earth, Maya stood in the crystal gardens of the royal palace, holding a baby that defied all known science. The child had Maya's brown eyes and Queen Zara's glowing skin, and somehow their human and luminary DNA had combined to create something entirely new and wonderful. "What should we call her?" Queen Zara asked, rocking the baby gently. Maya looked down at their impossible daughter, who was already creating tiny light patterns with her fingers. "How about Hope?" Queen Zara smiled. "Perfect. She is the hope of both our peoples." Maya gazed out at the crystal cities that were now filled with Luminari families walking together, their children playing in streets that had been empty for decades. In the distance, she could see the construction of new schools and parks and gathering places where people could come together to celebrate life and love. "Do you ever regret it?" Queen Zara asked quietly. "Leaving your world behind?" Maya thought. About Earth sometimes. She missed pizza and thunderstorms and the way flowers smelled after rain. She missed her sister and wondered if the government agents ever figured out what really happened to her. But then she looked at Queen Zara's beautiful face, at their glowing daughter, at the civilization they had saved together, and she knew she had made the right choice. And